What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast, the #1 calisthenics podcast for vegan. That's because we are the only one. And as you are joining in, feel free to drop some questions. I like to keep these kind of content creation interactive and actually answer your questions as we go. Today though, I do want to keep it on how to build muscles through calisthenics, because that's the most important thing. If you have this goal of building muscle, look better, and use strength training as a way of becoming a more disciplined and tougher minded person, okay? And so you can become that role model that you want to have, because there is a lot of people that get confused, right? And they lose so much time in the nutrition aspect, which is very important to eat healthy for sure and fuel your body. But at the end of the day, it's not really that difficult to understand how to eat. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like, subscribe, and you comment. Let me know which part of this podcast was helpful to you and make any extra questions about it. If you are on Instagram, just do the same thing. But if you are on YouTube, come to my Instagram, Stefano Vegan Calisthenics, because so you can interact during my lives. When are these lives going to be? We are not really sure yet. We are not that structured. That's my fault. My ADHD brain have difficulties on organizing things. But over time, I'm sure I'll be able to be consistent with the time and days for these podcasts. However, if you're on my Instagram, you'll get notified when I go live. Intro done. How do we build muscle with calisthenics? So to answer first these questions quickly, can we get enough omega-3 from plants? Do you have any suggestions? It's absolutely super easy to get enough good fats from a plant-based diet. All you need is just a spoon of seeds. Hemp seeds are a good one, but I would say that, and this is also something that many nutritionists and dietitians suggest, variety. All right, so do not get stuck on perhaps what's the best source of omega-3 and omega-6s and good fats. Just look at one category, seeds and nuts, and just have a variety of them, okay? But do not overdo them, okay? Because too much of good fats is also not good. It's not because they are good fats, then they are good in high quantity, okay? You want to keep your fat intake to what's necessary for your body to promote good hormones, okay? And that's about one portion, maybe 30 grams per day of nuts and seeds. So when you're drinking beer and you're smashing it on nuts, that's not good. But if you do it sometimes, it's going to be fine. That's what my girlfriend does. Both of my girlfriends do. Like they smash whole packages of nuts when they're doing when they're drinking, or anytime really, when they're talking and having a chill time. Stevie is asking, I want to lose weight, then gain muscle on a plant-based diet. What's your best advice? That's relevant. It's a good question. So you don't need to focus on losing weight first and then build muscle, especially because most of you guys are beginners, or even if you're an intermediate, you have no problem building muscles while you're losing weight. So, the food is going to help you lose weight. Exercising is going to help you build muscle. Okay, so in order to lose weight, you need to be on a caloric deficit. To build muscle as you lose weight, you need to create a progression in strength. You can do it with calisthenics, weight, whatever it is, but you need to get stronger over time. And also, just another advice that I would give to someone that is trying to lose weight on a plant-based diet, if you can, just eliminate the grains completely and focus more on whole plant food, more fruits, more vegetables, a bit of legumes. Just eliminate the grains. It's going to help you eat more quantity of food, feel full, and it's easier to stay on a caloric deficit. Right, so most specifically, how do you build muscle with calisthenics? So the first question that some people have is calisthenics as effective as weight training when it comes to build muscle? All right, I guess some people multiple times they say, oh, I have the goal of building muscle, so what I'm going to do is going to the gym, build the muscle, and then going into calisthenics. But here's the thing. Obviously, bodybuilders don't do calisthenics. Most of them are doing weight training, and there is a reason for that. The reason is that if your goal is like building and targeting the muscle in a specific way and the most optimal way to build muscle, then isolation exercises are obviously going to do that more efficiently. But here's the thing. Do you want to be a bodybuilder or you just want to be strong, look good, and do it in a way that you enjoy more? In this case, just do calisthenics. You are going to develop that physique and you're going to get those benefits without doing a workout plan that perhaps is more boring to you and not as stimulating. On top of this, I would like to add that yes, it is a slower process usually to build muscle in calisthenics, and that's because, again, in the gym, you literally do the same exercises over and over, and you just add weight, okay? You don't need to, it's very simple, honestly. They make it complicated online, of course. They tell you so many different weird exercises to stimulate the muscle in one way or another, but you know, in my first 3 years of fitness, 3 or 4 years, I achieved a great physique. I was very satisfied of. In muscles, I don't know, I probably built like 8 to 10 kilograms of muscle. Anyway, I was visibly very much bigger and I was satisfied of the results. And for my chest workout, it was always the same. It was chest, bench press, weighted dips. I would go to the machine, chest press there with one hand at a time, and then I will do chest flies in superset with push-ups. That's it. And I've done that for 3 years, just increasing the weight, and that's it. And so that makes it easier to progress in strength and therefore have also a quicker muscle growth. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen with calisthenics. The thing is that especially in the beginning, you are building your way up towards more advanced exercises, and there's going to be a lot of new exercises, a lot of changes in what exercise you're doing, like the movement that you're doing, and that slows down a little bit the process. But that's fine. We also like calisthenics because of that, because we are learning different exercises. So do not go into weight training first because you think that's the right thing to do when it comes to build muscle, because actually what's going to happen is that you will build less functional muscle, okay, because you have some extra weight coming from those isolation exercises, and then you will start calisthenics and you will feel stupid doing pull-ups because they feel hard for you. Now, I did the same. I went from weight training to calisthenics, okay? The strength that you build from weight will transfer to calisthenics as well. But there's going to be another adaptation phase that it's going to, again, slow down the process. So if you want to do calisthenics because you think that's more enjoyable to you, and you don't need to go through that building muscle phase in the gym. It's literally dumb to do that. All right, so I covered that. We have few questions. So not exactly a muscle gain question, but I'm eating a lot and try to cool fresh 3-6 times a week with a lot of nuts and other protein, also snacks, but I'm not gaining weight, even though I don't work out. Why? So your goal is gaining weight without working out? Is that your goal? So you want to get fat. So just eat more. Just eat more, yeah. So you're saying you're eating a lot of nuts and other proteins. So it seems like that your idea is that by eating more protein, you're going to gain weight without working out. So all this sentence is completely nonsense. Like I cannot connect to this at all. First of all, like protein will not make you gain weight. Protein is just one macronutrient that supports the rebuilding of muscle tissues, and you just need enough protein. You don't need excessive protein. Especially like if you don't work out, it's really done. No one tell people in the fitness industry to eat more protein to gain weight if they don't work out, really. So like if you want to gain weight, just eat more. Maybe you're eating too clean and you're not tracking your calories, so you think that you're eating a lot, but not really. So either implement more high calorie dense foods. That could be grains, for example, or add some oil to your food, or just eat more healthy food. What do you recommend to carb hunger and appetite? I'm always hungry and fast often. But I wonder about comfortably staying in a deficit. So a good question, because you're talking about being comfortable and staying in a deficit. So now, fasting is, for most people, I would say, is not a comfortable approach to diet. For me, for example, is not. I do a little bit of fast, but it's not like a full, like intermittent fasting, really. I just have an early dinner and then I have breakfast, because for me, after my kickboxing training, I just don't want to eat, really. And so to carb hunger, the best and first thing that I would do is increase your fruit intake and reduce the rest. Okay, fruit and vegetables, of course, as well. They are high in fiber, lower in calories, and are going to help you feel fuller. The other thing is maybe try some some diet soda, 0 calorie things. I do it sometime when I'm hungry and I want to stick to my calories. That's what I do. Open the fridge and open a Coke Zero. Are you a vegan due to health reason or love for animals? Scroll my Instagram, man. I'm an animal rights activist. And so what about go to the gym and do calisthenics? Yes, absolutely no problem with that. So now I answered the question of whether you should build muscle first and they're starting calisthenics, and that doesn't make sense. Now, the big mistake that I see people doing when they approach calisthenics and they don't get results is that they do this. They see calisthenics as pull-ups and push-ups, and this is what they do. They just do pull-ups and push-ups. And what happens? First of all, there's a few things that happens. The first one is that there is this disparity and imbalance between the two exercises. So pull-ups, it's a hard exercise. Like, people think that it's normal to do like 15 or 20 pull-ups in a row, but that's very, very advanced and requires a lot of strength. And on the other side, they think that push-ups are effective, but once you can do like 15, 20 push-ups in a row, which even if you do them with good form, it's easy to do for most people, obviously with training, they're not very effective. And even if you do those pull-ups with good form and you're getting up to like 10 pull-ups, that's not an effective way of getting strong over time, or at least for me, because you're entering the realm of strength endurance. It means that you are working while your muscles are fatigued, they are accumulating fatigue. So on the other side, if you work on lower volume, you can focus on building strength faster, okay, and at lower intensity. So it's more effective to work at lower volume instead of trying to just increase the pull-ups and the push-ups number forever, because most people get stuck. How many of you are just like stuck at 8 pull-ups and 9 pull-ups since forever? And one of the best changes that you can do to your workout in order to make progress is don't do that. Approach the workout, your pull workout, and instead of trying your pull-ups, find a harder and harder variation. All right, it could be weighted pull-ups, it could be unilateral pull-ups where you go side to side. Okay, anything that makes the pull-up variation harder. Okay, and drop the volume. Again. Okay, do not stay fixated on a number of repetition. Staying low in repetition is okay too, and then over time you will increase the repetition again. But again, you don't need to get to 10 and 12 repetitions before you make this change, because once you get over 6 repetitions, this is where you enter the realm of hypertrophy and strength endurance. Once you get to 12 and 15 repetition, and there is where you're working with fatigued muscles. Okay, and again, it's just more difficult to progress that way, and it's a slower progress. Just look at it this way, okay? Do you think if I can do like my 4 or 5 pull-ups with 40 kilogram attached to my waist, do I have a problem doing 15, 20 pull-ups in a row? Probably not. And I don't even have to train to do 15 or 20 pull-ups in a row, because I'm just working on my strength. So if you work on your strength first, then developing endurance after, or just increasing endurance, it just comes naturally. So focus on developing strength and developing higher intent, like focusing on exercises, especially your first exercise, focusing on lower repetition and higher intensity. Now for the push-ups, it's the same concept, obviously. Like if you can do 20, 25 push-ups, and this is what you do in your workout, like going from pull-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, push-ups. Change the push-ups to weighted push-ups. Maybe you do dips, okay? And maybe you do weighted dips, you know, anything that makes the exercise more difficult and allows you to work at higher intensity and achieve failure or close to failure. We don't always want to go failure, that's important, or close to failure, we at lower repetitions, okay? Now the other thing that happens now when people approach these kind of training where they do pull-ups, push-ups, is one thing. So for the push-up side, it's too easy for you, but often the pull-ups are too hard for you, and you do something that is not even close to a pull-up, all right? So you're just hanging on the bar, and that's why you're also stuck. Because if you don't do an exercise with the proper technique, you're doing what is called junk volume, and you're not really going anywhere. So for the pull-ups, in this case, in most cases for you guys, the best choice is humbling down and decrease the difficulty of the pull-up with a band, for example, so you can work on this exercise with the correct form. Let's see what we have in the comments. I weighed 140, 2000 plus calories for years without weight gain. 140 kilograms or pounds? Anyway, that's not relevant. What worries me the most is eating alternative food. So like, for example, these plant-based burgers, are they healthy? The ones you buy in a packet? So we need to distinguish from kind of, you know, healthy or unhealthy. Is it optimal health? You know, there is a whole spectrum in the healthy food choice or unhealthy food choice conversation. I don't think we can, it's fair to say that choosing to eat meat substitute, plant-based substitute is not a healthy choice. You know, like healthy choice is fruit, vegetables, and whole food, not fake meat. You choose that for pleasure, all right? You don't base your diet around that. You have it sometimes, and no, it's not going to make you unhealthy, and make you get diseases, you know, from eating a vegan plant-based burger. I am new to plant-based, so do you recommend just trying to cook food from scratch? Absolutely, whole plant food all the way. Are you training every days of the week? So here is my daily training schedule. On Monday in the morning, I will do my pool training. Then in the evening, I usually go for a run, yes. So Monday evening is running. Then Tuesday morning is push. Evening is kickboxing. Wednesday morning is leg day, which I am now, I'm really tired of doing it with only calisthenics. A lot of one leg work, high volume, and a lot of fatigue. You know, the resting time needs to be shorter in order to make it effective. So I'm going to the gym, I run to the gym and run back. Then on Thursday, only kickboxing. On Friday, again, upper body training and kickboxing. Did I say 4 kickboxing? Maybe it's more like 3 kickboxing. It depends. Sometimes it's 3 kickboxing, sometimes it's 4. And then on Saturday and Sunday, I go for a long run. How do you stay motivated when progress slows? How do you stay motivated when progress slows? So I think progress is progress, and is the most important thing. And this is why this is one of the reasons why, for example, I have truly disconnected from the protein propaganda, because there is this race to optimization and faster results. But when you look at reality, progress is always low, really. Someone is calling me. It was mom. Mom was calling me. So yeah, like if that's your point, like slow progress, I say, why would you not be motivated if you're still progressing? Like progress is all you should care about. Even if I progress one repetition in my workout, I'm happy, man. I'm super happy. I don't care. I think in calisthenics especially, it comes both in building muscles and calisthenics. You know, we have these unrealistic expectation because of me. It's mainly because I realize that it's mainly because of what social media shows us. Because I remember, for example, when I 10 years ago, I'm 30 years old now. 10 years ago I was 20. Yeah, that's it. 10 years ago, when I was smaller than I am now, I felt bigger than now, to be honest. But I was smaller. And now, because of what I see on social media, of course, my expectations for myself are different. But the reality is, when in the real world, I'm usually the biggest one, and people are always impressed by my physique. So it's about expectation. And calisthenics is the same thing. Like we want to achieve that planche, we want to achieve that one arm pull up, but it's not even like, we don't know if we're going to get there. You don't know. Like the way you progress. Also, if your workout plan makes sense, all right. So if you're progressing, okay, if a clear and linear progression over time, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12 months, you probably, your workout plan makes sense, okay? Obviously, if you're not making progress, you don't have clarity, perhaps your workout plan does not make sense. But if you're making progress over a long period of time, your workout plan makes sense. So I would only focus on that. I would only focus on the fact that you are making progress and not the end goal. Because also, if you, for example, you've been training for 1 year, and you went from pull-ups with body weight to 10 kilograms pull-ups of body weight in 1 year time, well, your progress is low, but you're progressing. It means that you're doing the things right, but it's low. What does it mean? That probably you're not going to be able to get to pull-ups with 50 kilograms in another year. You're going to need 6 years. On the other side, you have people that start their planche journey. If you guys don't know what a planche is when you're floating with your feet and you're doing a plank. So this is your hands on the floor and this is your body floating, okay? There is some people that start their planche training and they can kind of do it already. Like for me, in the beginning of my planche training, my just shoulder would explode just trying planche, and now my planche is progressing, but it's very, very slow. I'm not expecting to get a full planche anytime soon, but I focus on progress within my workout, and that's all you need to do. So is it possible to build a fit body without going to the gym? Yes. You can watch the replay. I talked about this in the beginning. I weigh 89 kilograms, trying to lose 10 kilograms in 3 months. So 10 kilograms in 3 months is like 3 kilograms per month. It's achievable. yeah, it's achievable. It's not even too quick. If you can stick to a normal caloric deficit, it doesn't have to be too aggressive, like 500, 600 caloric deficit. You try to increase a little bit your cardio as well. You can lose 10 kilograms in 3 months. But obviously, if you then you have cheat meal and cheat days, then it becomes a little bit more difficult. But yeah, 10 kilograms in 3 months is possible. How can I eat 180 grams of protein every day while in a calorie deficit? I don't answer that question because that's useless. I would say just eat less protein. Actually, I will make a bigger point. I think this is relevant. So the suggestion out there for people that are trying to lose fat and maintain muscle mass and increase muscle mass is to increase the protein intake because it promotes lean mass. But here's the thing, guys. Food does not do that. It's not the food job to promote your increase in muscle mass. It's training. So it doesn't really make sense to over focus on the protein. Focus on the training. If you keep making progress within your training while you're losing fat, you're going to build muscle. Eating 180 grams of protein every day, it's stupid. First of all, I don't know where do you actually calculated that. Like, you probably listen to some weird fitness influencer, because even the kind of the normal one, well, actually, no, that's not true. There's so many that suggest such a high protein intake. But like, I weigh 80. This morning I weighed 81 kilogram. 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight would be 160, and you are eating 180. And 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight is not what you need. Like 1.6 is what the scientists and experts are showing to be the highest range and target when it comes to getting benefits from a higher protein diet. But that's just the upper end. And my point is that you shouldn't focus on that upper end, because when you focus on that upper end, less healthy choices happen into your diet. For example, going into the next question, Alex is asking, is seitan a good source of protein for us? You do not need to look for sources of protein. You need to stop looking at diet like it is a protein map and everything is protein. Okay, so if you do, this is what happens if you do that. You should seitan as food, and it just makes your diet overall less healthy. It's a processed food. They rip off everything else but gluten, so you're eating just gluten. It's not a good food, okay? Especially if you're choosing that just for the sake of protein. Eat more fruit and vegetables, eat some grains, eat some legumes. Don't overstress about protein, because you can build muscle and strength and support your athletic goals by eating as little as 0.8 grams protein per kilogram of body weight. Do I suggest to go this low? To be honest, I am not sure about protein intake. I think 0.8 grams of protein is low, very low, in the sense that it's even kind of difficult to be that low in protein. Like for me, 0.8 is 60 grams of protein. Like, it's impossible not to get 60 grams of protein into my diet. But yeah, the point is you can build muscle at a lower protein intake, and it's not, again, I repeat, it's not protein that builds muscle. It's training. Okay, that's important. Where are we? Where are you from, my friend? I'm from Italy. Guys, so if you're a vegan that is actually struggling to build muscle and you have this focus on nutrition, I assure you that your best shape is going to come with a proper workout plan that makes sense. And I've been already helping more than 200 vegans on these, making sure that they have a healthy diet, limiting processed food and supplement and promote fruit and vegetables inside of the diet, making sure that there is a caloric target set so they can develop a lean physique, a shredded physique with muscle definition, but focusing on what's really important in order to make that change in your body and build muscle, which is increasing strength. We'll do that through calisthenics. So I'll create a progression with calisthenics exercises. That's the right one for your strength level. And I give you support. So you have a chat, access to me through chat all the time, so I can check on your technique. And we'll be doing weekly check-in. This way you don't feel alone and you have clarity toward your journey of building muscle. If you're interested in coaching, just drop me a DM saying CALIVEGAN and we'll have a conversation about your goals. With that said, what is the most calorie healthy meal you know? Fruit, a lot of fruit. I guess that's the healthiest at this point. And that's what I'm going to try to have for dinner, like 2 kilograms of fruit. But yeah, like if you want to step back when it comes to plant-based diet, I think that structuring your diet based on grains, legumes, and vegetables is the best way to go. If you want to increase the calories, I would increase the carbs, the rice. At this point, it's also clear to me that like it's not a healthy thing to do to increase your calories by adding healthy fats, because it's not only about the type of fat that you put in your body in order to be healthy. It's also the amount. Your body functions well low in fats. That's why all the cardiovascular diseases come from fat that is staying in your organs and in your arteries. I want to gain weight, okay? So you want to, again, if you want to gain fat, just eat more food. If you want to gain muscle, get stronger. There is no shortcut to build muscle. You need to get stronger. So, going back to how to build muscle with calisthenics, and I want to stay on the approach that many people have when it comes to training with calisthenics, which is the pull-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, push-ups. Okay, so this is kind of a upper body workout. Let's call it a full body workout. Maybe you do some bodyweight squat, which also fall into the same things that I've explained earlier. So it's an exercise that is way too easy to create any strength or muscle gain. Okay, so in my experience, actually, I found that it's difficult to have a linear progression if I do full body workouts, because full body workouts means that you will train 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and you have only 48 hours. Yeah, 48 hours rest between the workout for the muscle to recover, which is okay. It can be okay, but the thing is that you can overdo the volume and the intensity. Actually, you should be able to spread in a very effective way your intensity and volume throughout the week in order to make progress, and I couldn't do it. I just could. I haven't been able to make a full body workout work for me, and because one of the things is that I do like to do more volume. You know, I like to feel that I've worked my muscle during a workout, and if you're doing a full body routine workout and you want to progress, which again, I don't know how to do it. I've never been able to progress with a full body workout. But you need to be conservative with the volume that you're doing. You cannot overdo it, because if you do too much, you won't be recovered for your next workout. So what I suggest is a classic push, pull legs, or pull, push legs, whatever you want to do. So this way you can do more volume, stimulate the muscle properly, and that's going to be enough if you want to do only 3 days. By the way, you can do push-pull legs, and 3 days per week is going to be enough. But you definitely have space for another push-pull and legs if you want. I prefer keeping the legs to 1 leg day. I don't like training legs necessarily, but I like having muscular legs, so I don't skip leg day, because girls don't like chicken legs on guys. All right, so do not skip your leg day. My clients always make a comment like, "Oh man, the leg day was super hard." But guys, a leg day is hard. Like, it drains you. It's just the nature of it, because it's a big muscle. You need to, you put more stress on the body. Overall, you're always using your whole body when you're doing legs as well. And then to get stronger and build muscle, you gotta become very strong with your legs and lift heavy weights. Like even a pistol squat is a very difficult exercise. So a leg day is going to drain you. There's no way around that. So as we said, push-pull legs is the best split, in my opinion. You can go hard and you can do some extra volume, and make sure that the next time you work out, your muscles are going to be recovered and you don't feel fatigued. It's for me, it's never happened that I felt fatigued for my following workout, because literally, like, you do pull, and then the next time you hit the pull muscle is 1, 2, 3, 4 days after. 4 days after the muscle, if you do push-pull legs, the muscle always have enough time to recover. What I do is push-pull legs, and then an upper body workout on Friday. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Friday, and then there is 2 more rest days before I start again. Okay, so I find this way much more effective than full body. Actually, full body is just been not effective for me. So push-pull legs, upper body, all day long, all weeks, I should say. Do we have question before I move towards the next point? I have a question here. Oh wow, there's lots of questions here. I respect you, brother, and I'm here to learn. What's a good way to track progress in the planche? It's a good question. So keeping it simple is the best way to go about. So obviously, like, trying a planche, because some people think that progress, like in planche, is planche itself. But as I said before, like, not everyone has the same speed of progress, and for some people planche will come in years. So like trying planche doesn't even make sense. So Track the progress within the workout. So for example, keep the exercise selection simple. Something that many people mistake on is they try different like planche exercises, thinking that the more planche exercises they do, the more proficient they will become in planche. But calisthenics is not like learning a backflip. It's not about technique. It's about strength progression, and being able to planche is just an expression of your level of strength. So for the most part, to track your progress with planche, I would say, for example, for me, all right, I decided to focus on planche push-up because I like the movement of planche push-up, and I started with a hard band. I brought the planche push-ups with a hard band to 3 sets of 6 repetitions, and then I dropped the band and I did 3 sets of 3 repetitions, and then bring it up again to 3 sets of 6 repetitions, and then drop the band again. So for me, this is how I really track my planche progress, my one arm pull-up progress, all the progress. This is how I track them. I track the progress within the workout. I don't necessarily care about that end goal. So the end goal would be, am I able to planche? Am I able to full planche? Because that's, at the end of the day, that's just going to be a natural result. Do I try planche sometime? Yes, I do. Do I try my one arm pull up and see how it goes sometimes? Yes, I do. But if I'm not able to do it, it doesn't mean that I'm not progressing, because if I'm progressing within my workout, it means that I am getting stronger. And by the way, what I've just said is a very important concept that you should be approaching for any of your exercises, especially in calisthenics, because in calisthenics, you cannot do as you do in weight training. You cannot add a small amount of weight. So moving from an easier to a more advanced variation is like adding 10-15 kilograms, and you simply cannot do that most of the time. So you need to work on increasing the volume at which you're working that specific exercise before you move to the more advanced variation. Okay, so for example, you start from 3 sets of 3 repetitions. Over the weeks, you go to 3 sets of 6 repetitions. Okay, and now you can try and do harder variation for the lower volume. And this is how you progress. Like you do this, and you're just going to be progressing. Oh, I realized that in the questions, that's a new thing. Like I get the questions that you guys made me on the stories here. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Another and last thing that I'm going to give you when it comes to like training, and one of the biggest mistake that people do is that they keep trying hard stuff in the workout. They keep trying hard over and over during the workout, and you cannot. You simply cannot. Okay, your body has a capacity to work out. There is an amount of energy that is able to use at a given time, and when you work out, this capacity and tank of energy goes down. So if my goal is to do a muscle up, and that's my focus, okay, so I do a muscle up in the beginning, okay, and that's it. I do my sets and reps, and then I stop focusing on something that is hard. Okay, let's say I'm doing muscle ups with a band. I'm assisting my muscle up with a band. I do like 3 sets of 4 repetitions. And then I want to do, as a second exercise, I want to do something similar to a muscle up to stay specific. And let's say this exercise is high pull-ups. All right, so high pull-ups, very good for muscle up strength. Is basically, instead of going here, you still use the momentum, a little bit of momentum, but mainly strength. But anyway, you pull below the chest, into the belly button, to the waist, whatever you can do. And that's a good exercise. But now, if it's hard for you, because it's likely going to be hard if your first exercise was a banded assisted muscle up, doing only 2-3 repetitions of this hard exercise as a second exercise is just junk volume. It's junk volume, because intensity can only happen when you are fresh. High intensity work can only happen when you're fresh. You cannot go as intense when it comes to strength as your second or third exercise. You gotta work at lower intensity so you can build up a good working volume. Okay? Is that clear? What I'm saying is that if your first exercise is, let's say, 4 repetitions, your second exercise cannot be 3 repetitions per set. It needs to be 5, 6, 7. It needs to be easier so you can work and do a good amount of working volume, because otherwise it's just going to be junk volume. You're just pushing yourself through a limit that you cannot surpass. Okay, so your workout plan should be organized: hard exercise, easier exercise, even easier exercise, and even easier exercise, and then accessory exercises that are not even necessary in your workout, and you do that only if you have time. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe, comment, let me know what was interesting about this. And if you want to interact with me during the CALIVEGAN podcast lives, come to my Instagram, Stefano Vegan Calisthenics. Give me a follow so you get notified when I go live. And on Instagram, do the same thing. Like, comment, share it on your story if this was valuable and you think it's going to be valuable for others. And if you're not vegan, go vegan, because it's unjust to torture and murder animals for a product that you don't even need. And stay strong. I'll see you in the next time.